Hey, what up, chess players? It's Galen from the Portland Chess Shop here to bring you the chess action. And Kramnik and Aronian have played another game, so let's check it out really quick. It is Sunday, March 22nd today, and they played the second round. They're playing a six-round match. They're in Zurich, Switzerland. Should be pretty sweet. Aronian opens with the king pawn up 2, and let's see what Kramnik decides to defend with. I would guess that he's going to play the king pawn. He does play the king pawn. So the knight comes out to attack the pawn. This is very standard. Now, this knight could come out, or sometimes this knight comes out as well. The Kramnik is good with the Berlin defense. He may choose to do that because that's how he defeated Kasparov in his match against Kasparov sometime like in, I don't know, 99 or something. So here we see the bishop attacks the knight. So this begins the Roy Lopez. If he plays a6, it'll become the Roy Lopez. If he plays knight f6, it'll be the Berlin defense, which is basically like a Berlin wall. It's just like rock solid defense. Like you can't really win with it, but you can't lose with it. And I think that Kramnik might go for that because that's one of his specialties. He does decide to play that. He doesn't try to play for the win with black yet in the tournament. He doesn't need to do that. This is only round 2. He could try to play for the win with white next round, and he'll be just fine. So we see that Crafty is also on the bottom down here. It tells us the opening books now, and then later on it'll tell us, it'll analyze the position. Crafty isn't perfect. So, yeah, like I saw one. If you have like Ribka 4 and you want to compare it, with a bunch of you have a bunch of processors, some memory, you have a good strong computer, and you want to run it in a deep position analysis on one of these positions, and post the analysis that your computer says in the YouTube video, that would be awesome. So if you find any discrepancies, because that would just be a little bit interesting to show where computers are seeing it differently. Those show, the complicated positions. So we do see a castles and the knight takes. This is the Berlin. The queens usually get traded off very early in this line. So I'm pretty sure this is totally standard. We see that knight d6 is always played, so we'll just jump forward. Bishop takes c6 is always played. Pawn takes always played. Then takes here, always played. Knight f5. So this is just totally opening theory. So here the queens get traded, as I said. And then knight c3. Okay, so now begins basically the opening, at least according to Crafty. I'm pretty sure that the players, especially Kramnik, knows this position much, much deeper. But I'll go over it a little bit for the chess players, people that haven't seen this position before, because I think that hopefully I have a lot of beginners that watch my YouTube videos, because I am trying to encourage beginners to play. I feel like a lot of the analysis and things are done by like masters, and they're four strong players. So I'm trying to bring something that's a little bit more basic. Let me know, exactly where your knowledge is, what you're interested in, things like that. So yeah, here, it starts some analysis. We see bishop e6 is played. So in this position, purple has the two bishops. Two bishops are good. He also has these doubled pawns. So doubled pawns have a little bit less mobility, especially in this case because the doubled pawns they're good defensively, but they can't advance as much because this pawn can't advance until after this pawn moves. And so these 4 pawns, you're not going to be able to turn these 4 pawns into a queen. Like if it was just these 3 pawns against these 4 pawns, I'm not sure if you could turn one of these pawns into a queen by force in that case. And that's why doubled pawns, at least it's more difficult, it takes a lot more moves. So that's why doubled pawns are just a little bit weaker, especially when it's on the side that's the pawn majority. So in this position, the king is in the center, which is a little bit weak. So that's part of white's play. White has a little bit of dynamic energy. Anyway, let's just jump forward. So check, king over. The knight comes out attacking, the bishop and here. So the bishop may retreat. Bishop does decide to retreat. Kind of interesting that the bishop comes out and then retreats when knight g5 makes a lot of sense. That's why the computer was saying something about h6, but I'm pretty sure this has got to all be opening theory still. So h3, he's seeing a few moves deep with that move. Something like after this knight moves somewhere, then the bishop could come to g4, and then if you played like f3, then it could come to g6 and be very active. And there's no light squared bishop for white. The bishop comes out to attack the knight. Bishop comes out here. It's just well placed in this position. It's defending the knight and the pawn. Down this diagonal as well. So this knight comes over here, and it's on the rim now, but it can, for example, come back, come over this way. So it has a few different options. Also allows this bishop to come out. Pawn up is played. So I think that black will capture on this square. No, he decides to play f6, attacking the knight. And then after the knight moves, you could take this pawn, I think is the idea. The knight decides to come to f7. I'm not sure that this is opening theory anymore. I think that this is an interesting position that could be the first time that this has been played. I haven't seen this as one of the main lines before. Kramnik plays rook g8, defending the pawn. Preparing a g5 move, I believe. But it looks like the bishop can take here, which is what Crafty thinks will be played. But then this pawn will fall as well. So this is, I don't know, this looks pretty interesting, right? It looks dynamic. It looks, I mean, the queens aren't on the board, that's true, which does create more drawing chances, but it seems interesting. This knight decides to check here. And now we're probably going to see bishop takes and then maybe rook takes. Bishop takes back. The king can move again. Alright, so now the smoke is cleared, and it looks much more drawish than it did before. Opposite colored bishops. 6 pawns against 6 pawns with like a normal structure. Now I'm starting to think that this is main line, even though it looked really unusual and confusing for a second, but now the smoke is cleared and it looks very dry. Pawn up, knight over, bishop moves, controlling key squares with the bishop. If the knight comes in, then the bishop just comes to f2, and it's pretty good there. Knight would then have to retreat. Bishop does go to f2, so the pawns are on light squares, bishop on the dark square. Rook comes over, starts to attack with the a pawn. This pawn goes up, so these pawns are on dark squares, which is good for this bishop, creates targets. The knight comes forward, the knight comes out. And now, according to Crafty, pretty much dead equal throughout this series of moves. So they may just be playing to be playing. But we do see the Kramnik is down to 50 minutes, while Aronian has 110. So they must be playing out of book to some extent, I think, or else Kramnik would have played all the moves very quickly. So I'd be interested to know when exactly they went out of the opening theory, because I don't play this line myself. I play the Najdorf because you don't choose the Najdorf chooses you. So we do see that Aronian is basically using his time better. That's how he won the first round. Is just like played faster, and then his opponent blundered. So we'll see if that works here. We see that now Aronian's up a quarter of a pawn, which could be significant. Check, king moves. This rook comes up. The rook's attacking these pawns, but also this rook is attacking this pawn. Here he's attacking the knight, which forces. Rook takes c2. Then if takes. Oh, the bishop falls, obviously. So check, king here. Then the knight comes to the center, defending the bishop. And suddenly, and also this rook is defending the pawn, so that was a pretty good play. This knight's also attacking the c5 pawn. That was a good remaneuvering of the pieces by Aronian right there. Let's go back and just check that out for a second. So he was thinking about this strategy like way back here, because that's when he played a4. I think he was thinking about the idea that we just saw. So he was looking many moves ahead and kind of saw that with the knight in the center, takes, rook down, check, king up, rook here. He could just take on b6 as like a tactic, because then after takes here, he has this check and then knight, centralized knight. So I don't know. looks like a good combination, but not really worth that much at this point. Now the computer thinks that it's just about equal again. So takes, knight moves. They exchange pieces. Now they're down to rooks and just 3 pawns. This is a dead draw. So game drawn. Good game. Thanks for watching. We will be following the next 4 rounds of the match, as well as I know that next weekend there is another chess death match on chess.com, so I'll be following that. And I think that Anand and Gelfand are going to play for the World Championship in just a few weeks, so we'll watch that. Let me know if you know about other events. Appreciate it. Please thumbs up if you can. Thanks. Bye.